Hello friends, welcome back to the fourth day of live art. This is Priya from Priya Arts Art Studio where I teach art for all ages. I hope everyone is staying safe. Let's relax a little bit and do a fun art with our family. So are you all ready with these items? We need pencil, eraser, ruler, paper, and oil pastels. If you don't have oil pastels, you can do the same art with crayons or color pencils too, though it creates a different texture. So now I have here Kavya and Ovia to draw with me. So you're going to guess what we are doing today. I'm going to give you some clues. It's a rodent, cute little rodent. You can start guessing what we are going to do. We are going to do a cute little rodent. It has soft, fluffy body. It has it's not a mouse, is she? It has 2 tiny ears, 4 little paws. It's not a mouse. If I say this, you will find it very easily. It lives in burrows. Can you guess what we are drawing today? It's fluffy, it has silky soft body, silky soft fur. Rabbit, it's not a rabbit, Shakti. It lives in burrows. It's not a groundhog. Any other guess? It's not a bunny. It's not a beaver, Mitra. It's not, we keep that as a pet. Any guess? We keep that as a pet. Come on, it's not squirrel. It's not chipmunk. Hamster, yeah, Shakti, it's hamster, that's right. We are going to do a cute little hamster today. It's not a dog, is she? It's a hamster. So we are going to draw a hamster. I hope everybody is ready. It's not a guinea pig, it's a hamster, that's right. We are going to do a cute little hamster. Yay, she, yeah. That's right. So I'm going to do measurement. I'm going to do a big hamster here and an optional baby hamster if you want. So I'm starting with the big hamster first, probably mommy or daddy hamster. 15 centimeters. There is a fun fact about the hamster. Hamster can see really well. It can only see short distances, but it has something called scent gland. So wherever it goes, it with using the scent gland, it applies scent to the objects which it's passing through, so that it can come back to its home. So that's a really good thing about the hamster. They have the scent gland. So now I measured 15 centimeters for the mommy or daddy hamster. I'm going to make half oval here. Should we put the paper vertically or horizontally? Veena, you can do it either way. Just make sure you have a space for the baby hamster if you're going for the baby hamster, okay? So if you want the oval to be easier, so I'm making a line in the middle. Are you all able to see the line? I can keep it closer. to make the oval easier, okay, so I'm going to make half oval like that. It's going to be other side as well, but the bottom of the oval is going to be little flatter like that, round and flat. So if you had that line in the center, you can connect both the lines with a curve and the other end with another curve with a flat bottom. So if you are done with the body, we can do the other parts of the hamster. Can you zoom? Yeah, Adit. My line is exactly not in the center, but that's okay. If you just have that oval on top, that's fine, and you should have that rounded, flat bottom. We are going to do teeny tiny ears. Cute, tiny ears on the side, on the top. And we are going to do tiny toes at the bottom. 2 tiny toes, just like a hook, similar to the ears up there. So we made 2 tiny toes as well. So after this, we're going to do round big eyes. Ta-da! Round big eyes for the hamster. Okay, and then we can do a tiny little nose right there in the middle, and tiny little mouth. Okay, after this, there's going to be 2 hands for the hamster right there and 1 right there. Yeah, Shakti, I'll wait for you. So if you are done with the eyes, 2 little ears, 2 little toes, we are going and we are doing the tiny arms of the hamster. If you want, you can do the eyebrows as well, just on top of the round big eyes. Okay, now the hamster is going to hold a tiny cookie in its hand. So I'm going to give my hamster a chocolate chip cookie, which is bitten a little bit by the hamster. So I'm only having half piece of the cookie because the hamster ate couple of bites. Okay. Yeah, you can give any cookie or you can give a lollipop even to the hamster. Why not? So if you are done till now, I'm going to make the inside of the ear. There's another curve inside the ear, and same with the other side. Yeah, Priya, I will zoom it. My middle line is visible. Should it be visible? Adit, we can do another color. It's okay if it's visible now. You can erase the middle line later. Since you're doing, I believe you're doing it with a pencil. If so, you can erase the middle line. If you're started with the pastel, we can always do white on top so that it gets hidden. Hope you didn't use any darker color. It's best to start with pencil so that if we make any mistake, we can erase them. So after the ears are done, I'm going to do the whiskers. Tiny whiskers on both the sides. And my hamster is going to have a patch on one side of the eye. Ta-da! Like a pirate. Okay. Are you all done with the big hamster? If so, we can start with the baby hamster. It's optional. If you want to challenge yourself, you can start the baby hamster. It's completely optional. So this baby hamster is going to, so my big hamster was 15 centimeters big. Do we have to draw the patch? Veena, if you want, you can do the patch. Otherwise, you can just leave it like that. Also, the baby hamster is optional. My baby hamster is going to measure 6 centimeters. So I'm measuring 6 centimeters from top to the bottom. So if you want to do the oval, you can make a straight line in between. So I recommend using pencil to do that, to do all the drawing. So I'm making an oval on the top. It's going to have round, flat bottom like the previous hamster. It's a baby hamster. Teeny tiny baby hamster. So we are doing the same thing like we did for the big hamster. This is going to have teeny tiny ears on the top. And tiny little toes. Like the ears. And round big eyes. So we have really tiny nose, tinier than the mommy, and tiny mouth, just like that. It's gonna have teeny tiny arms on the side. We are doing exactly same like the big hamster. So we are doing the eyebrows. And the inner ear. Do you think the tiny hamster needs a cookie too? The baby hamster. Should we give a cookie to the baby hamster? Yes? Okay. So let's give a cookie to the baby hamster as well. So it has a teeny tiny cookie. Not as big as its mom or dad, whoever it is. This is gonna have teeny tiny cookie. Shall we start the coloring? If you want me to wait, I can wait. Kavya, can you do that a little bigger? It will be tough for coloring. Do it a little bigger, please. Okay, let's start the coloring now. Okay, I'll wait one more minute. You can choose whatever colors. Can we add details to the cookies now? Adit, if you want to add the details, we'll do that with the pastel. Even if you do it with pencil, it will be gone when you apply pastels over it. So you can choose whatever color you want for the big hamster and the baby hamster. I'm gonna choose red for my mommy hamster and blue for my baby. You can even have daddy hamster instead of mommy. It's your wish. But we are only going to use 2 shades inside the body. Whatever color you choose, we are going to do white along with that for the body so that it kind of blends with a lighter tone inside the body and make it darker on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to start with the sides. I'm not going to cover the body entirely. When you're holding the pastel, make sure you're holding it nice and live, and keep the fingers and palm away from the paper. You don't want to see white spaces in between. So make shorter strokes with a little pressure to the pastel. So I'm only coloring on the side. You can pick any color you want. Can we, yeah, doesn't the baby hamster need whiskers? Yeah, it needs whiskers, Bhagyalakshmi. We can do that. If you want to do it with pencil, you are welcome to do that. I'll do it with pastels.
Can I
So
pink?
you can pick any color.
Can I pink?
Yeah.
Wear pink. I'm having it first.
So I'm just giving the inner ear with pink. We are just starting with the body for now. If you're choosing any other color, make sure you have some space in the middle because it's going to be blended with white inside the body. Okay? So I'm just covering the corners. Make sure you don't smudge the colors. I'm keeping the palm and fingers away from the paper. Apply pressure to cover the sides. We don't want white spaces in between. So do it in the same direction with shorter strokes. Short strokes. I'm not coloring inside this patch. If you have your patch on your hamster, so I'm just going on the side. So I'm making it really thick without the white spaces. So I'm applying a lot of pressure. So that there's no spaces in between. Also it blends really good if you apply pressure. So I just have my shade on the side. So whatever color you chose. So you're going to blend that with white. So we chose the darker color first and then we are going with the lighter color, which is the white, to do the blending. So I'm just going on top of the red a little bit. And it made pink there. So with that color, I'm going to color the insides of the hamster. So it's okay if you have a little bit of darker color inside the hamster on its belly. Because that's what we want. We want to blend them. To do that, you need to use white on top of the color you chose. That's when it gets blended well. Blend, blend, blend. So when I tried to blend white on top of the red, it became pink. A cute, cute pink hamster. So doing more white on its belly. Blending and blending. Lots of blending with white. So it doesn't matter what color you chose for your big hamster, just blend it with white. So this is how my hamster looks now. Lots of blending. I'm going to cover my hands with whatever color I chose. I chose red here, so I'm using red to do my hands, the hands of the hamster. So you can do whatever color you chose for your hamster. Just color the same. Use the same color for your arms, the teeny tiny arms. Okay. Now for the patch. If you have that side patch, you can choose any lighter color for the patch so that it's not so hard on the hamster when you look at it. So I chose a darker yellow shade for this patch. If you chose any other color, that's fine. Make sure you chose something lighter, like peach or orange, light green, something very light, yellow. So I'm covering up this patch right there. Also, I'm using the same color for the tiny feet.
What should I use?
What did you use for your patch?
I didn't have a patch.
Okay, you can use anything. Like, what color you chose? Blue? Yeah, you can use the same color too. Do you want to use yellow or orange? So make sure you cover up the white spaces. Apply a lot of pressure. Keep your fingers away from the paper. So now I'm done with the hamster body. I'm going to do the cookie. So this is a chocolate chip cookie. So I'm going to color my cookie with light brown. Remember, it ate a piece of cookie already, so it has a broken shape.
Light brown?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't have light brown.
You have the light brown. That is the light brown.
Oh, I thought that was just regular brown.
Mm-hmm. So make sure you're doing in the same direction. And cover up the cookie. Yeah, the whole cookie. You can choose to give any other cookie than chocolate chip. That's fine too. But I love chocolate chip cookies. I'm sure the hamster does too. So we need to be really careful that we are not smudging the art. So I gave a cookie which is going to have teeny tiny chunks of chocolate. So I'm using dark brown for this to do the chocolate chips inside the cookie. Yeah, very tiny rounds. It's not too crazy. The rounds are really tiny. And then I'm going to outline my feet with brown. So use brown to have an outline for the feet. The feet is going to have...
Wait, what color did you use for the
I'm
dots?
using brown.
For the dot of the...
Dark brown.
Give me the dark brown.
Yeah, you can use this. So I'm going to have 2 tiny toes like that. So you can do the toes too. When you're doing tiny lines, we need to be really careful. It tends to go really thick, so we need to use the edge of the pastel to make tiny lines. I'm also going to give outline for the arms like that. So I have the tiny arms there. It should have a nice eyebrow.
Eyebrows.
I'm using brown to do that for the nose and for the mouth.
Eyebrows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have eyebrows.
You can use the same color to do the eyebrows. I'm also giving a little outline for my inner ear here. And for the whiskers. So we are just making the whiskers prominent. Okay? Only the eyes are remaining. Before that, you can have tiny particles of the cookie at the bottom if you want. This hamster is a messy hamster, so it has some tiny bits of cookie on the ground. Now for the eyes. We need to be really careful. We are using black for the eyes. So when you're using black, we need to be very careful that if we make any mess with black, it's really hard to erase them. So for the eye, I'm not going to cover the entire eye. I'm going to leave a tiny white spot in the middle of the eye. If you couldn't leave that spot, we can always do white after we cover that with black. Okay? But we need to be very careful when doing the eyes. We need to make sure it's not going outside the line. Also, we are not smudging it. I'm going to leave a tiny white space inside the eye. So it's okay if you couldn't make a white space. Now it has dark black eye. So if you couldn't leave the space inside, it's okay. You can always use white. You can always use white inside the black to make that tiny dot. You're doing the other eye. Be very careful when using black. So I'm doing the same thing like the previous eye. I'm leaving white space inside.
Start all over.
Okay. So I'll just went outside a little bit. Okay. Now we have big round eyes for the hamster. Let's do the next hamster. So if you're done with this, so I'm just outlining the ears as well with the brown so that it looks nice and cute. Can we move on to the baby hamster? How many of you are ready? For the baby hamster, you can choose any color, like I said before. I'm going to do my baby hamster with blue. So I'm going to choose light blue for my baby hamster. You can choose whatever color you want. Not it? Yeah, Veena, I can wait for you. Yeah, is she? That's good. I hope it's coming out really good. Yeah, I'll wait for you, Veena. You can finish that up. The baby hamster is optional. If you're done with the grown-up hamster, we can start with the baby one. So I'm going to do the same kind of technique what we used for the big hamster. I'm going to use the same kind of one for the baby one. So I'll have the same patch for the baby. An optional one, if you don't want to have this patch, you can leave that. It's going to say ARG. We are doing the same thing. I'm going to cover the sides with my blue and I'm going to blend that with white in the middle for the body so that it looks shinier. So if you're choosing any other color, you can do the same thing. So I'm just covering my sides. And I'm going to use my white later. So if you're choosing any other color, that's fine too. Make sure you're blending that with white. So I just completed my... Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks a lot.
Jennifer.
I'm sure you're doing many paintings too at home during your free time now. So I'm going to use white. I'm going to go on top of blue a little bit so that it gets blended well. So we need to blend it with blue. Use your white to blend with whatever color you chose. I'm going on top of the blue so that it blends well. Use a lot of pressure so that it blends on its own without tissue paper or any other smudging tool. White is a good blender. So I have my teeny tiny baby hamster's body colored. Okay. Now for the patch. It's okay if you don't have the patch. So this is a pirate hamster. So my hamsters are having a patch on one side of its eye. Okay. So I have a patch for this, and I'm using the same color for the toes of the baby hamster. Ta-da! And I'm coloring the arms as well, the teeny tiny arms for the baby. Okay. If you have the inner ear, you can color the inner ear too. You can use a lighter color for the inner ear. So I'm using light purple for the ears. So now for the cookie. This baby is having baby cookie, which is really tiny. So I'm giving the same kind of cookie for the baby so that it doesn't get mad. Ooh. Okay, so I'm using the same light brown for this, and it's gonna have teeny tiny dark spots. So if you don't have dark brown, you can use black, but be very careful when you're using black. I can zoom that to you. Okay. So now I'm going to outline the feet here. When you're doing the outlines, make sure it's not going outside the lines because it's really thin. I'm doing toes like the previous ones. Also, I'm going to do the arms, the tiny arms. With the tiny little nose and the tiny little mouth. Yeah, you might want to make it a little more darker, these areas. I'm also doing outline for the ear, inner ear. I can zoom that a little bit and see how it comes here. Okay. So now the remaining here are the eyes of the hamster. These eyes are tinier than the previous one, so we need to be very careful when doing the eyes with black. So if you can't leave that white spot in the middle, it's okay. You can always use white on top of the black. Be very careful when using the black. Tiny, round, dark eyes. So that's when the hamsters look really cute, when they have big, round, dark eyes. Okay? So if you accidentally covered up the white spot, we still have white. So don't worry about that. So the eyes should look like that. We didn't forget the whiskers. You can use dark brown, or if you're using black, be very careful to do the whiskers. Teeny tiny whiskers for the baby. Okay. And don't you think the baby will be more messier than its mommy? It has some chocolate chip crumbs too at the bottom. They look adorable together. So I'm going to have teeny tiny hearts around the hamsters with mommy or daddy with its baby. So I'm going to color them with red and white hearts. So it's going to be half red. You can have any color hearts, or you can leave it just like that without hearts. It's up to you. I like to have my hearts near the hamsters. So my first heart is going to be, red and yellow. And the next one, red and white. So you can have multicolored heart too, like rainbow hearts. So teeny tiny heart right there. Ta-da! And really tiny heart near the baby. Now we are done. You can go ahead and have your artistic signature at the bottom. So let me zoom the picture. I would like to see all your hamsters. Please post your pictures after you're done. Let me see how colorful your hamster is. So we're going to see what Kavya and Ovia have. Oh, that's 2 baby hamsters. You have 2 babies too. Lovely. Okay, good job, guys. Hope everybody enjoyed. Please post your hamsters too. I would love to see all your hamsters. Let's see you again this Thursday at 4 p.m. Hope you all enjoyed. Bye, guys.